I know, it's it could be 2 years, but I'm making
Oh, it's majorly. They're majorly.
People don't.
Just so you boost it.
And come back later.
All right,
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order our April 21st Munster Park Board meeting. Janice, can I have a roll call, please?
Jose.
Here.
Kara.
Present.
Robin. Here. Scott.
Here.
Kristen.
Here.
Present. This time, if I can ask everyone to please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening again. Before we start our public input, we do have to address old business. So to do so, we have to have a motion. And at that time, we will ask Osvatemi to please come up and speak. So at this time, we need a motion to change order and address old business.
Motion change order.
Now second.
Roll call, Janice.
Jose.
Yes.
Kara.
Yes.
Robin. Yes. Scott.
Yes.
Kristen.
Yes.
We could have, Austin, if you'd like to move.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay. I can talk loud. All right. All right, for those that, thank you for having me, speak about the Beaker Woods Trail. For those that don't know me, my name is Haas Fatamy. I am the level 3 coach and team president for Region Comp Mountain Biking. We are part of the National Interscholastic Cycling Association. We are a nonprofit youth development league. Our mission is we use bikes to build strong minds, bodies, and character in community with kids. And we partner right now with Lake County Parks. We're the only team that runs a mountain bike park out of Hebron. We maintain this large, extensive trail out there that is a multi-use hike, bike, and horse trail. We also have another program called Teen Trail Corps. So with Teen Trail Corps, it's all about building volunteerism with kids, with teenagers in the community, getting them out, working with the land, working with Parks Department, and getting some ownership in the area they live. So what happened was last fall, looking at the Heritage Park trail that's in the woods, basically had the idea, it's like, oh, this is a very big trail, nice and wide. Let's see if we can maybe throw some features in and turn it into a multi-use trail for biking and hiking. So it came to the Parks Department, pitched that idea. It was like, well, let's slow down on that. Let's look at Beaker Woods. So we went out to Beaker Woods. I went out with Mark and the Parks Department. We kind of checked it out. And it was like, yeah, this would be a great space. I mean, there is a lot of land here, and the trails that we build in the area, we look at the land and we make sure that it fits within the land. So the loop that we design is a 1/2-mile loop. It intertwines into the trees. We didn't touch any trees. We didn't cut any trees down. There was no digging. It was all additive. So we got some dirt to bring in from the Parks Department. We did do some logging on some dead trees that were in the paths. But again, no trees were cut down. And we want to work with nature. The whole point of these mountain bike trails and hiking trails is to get you out in nature and feel like you're somewhere else. You know, and not feel like you're in the middle of suburbia. And so this was a multi-stage approach. So first it was going out in the woods, marking with flags on the proposed route, having parks come out, look at it, showing what we're thinking. And then we came to the board, pitched it in an open forum, got the approval for the next step. Next step was going in and actually cutting the trail. And so we're talking about, you know, it's like a 2, maybe 3 foot wide trail that goes in between the trees and uses the terrain for the advantage of the rider and the hiker. And then after we did that, we prototyped it, wrote it, make sure it felt safe for kids. Because again, this trail is designed for 4th graders and up. This is not a Red Bull Rampage extreme sports type of trail. And also the other thing that we love about Beaker Woods is the type of soil. So it's like a high density, like sand makeup. So that makes it slow. So when we're teaching kids how to mountain bike, we don't want speed. It's all about safety. And then how it interweaves into the trees, you have to learn how to ride your bike. You have to learn how to have control and balance. So that also slows down people from getting fast. And potentially, if a kid tries to go out there with an e-bike, which they're not allowed, there's going to be signage that clearly states no e-bikes allowed. It's going to be hard. There's little log rollovers. There's going to be little camel humps. And so it's not built for like distance speed on these like high performance dirt bikes. I actually saw 3 boys from Munster there this weekend on these high end looking e-bike dirt bikes. I simply just talked to them and I said, guys, these aren't allowed here. This is going to be for hiking and biking. And I showed them where that their bike tires will actually screw up different features of the trail. And they were totally, I mean, of course, there could be, bad apples or bad kids, but these boys were great. They understood it. They figured it out. And as I'm watching them try to drive these things, they couldn't do it because their bikes are too fast. So again, it's all about pedal power and foot power, getting there and walking. So then after we did the prototype, came back out to the board and the public meeting, pitched it again for the final approval. We also worked with legal, where looking at land usage rights, looking at history, and basically everything aligned in documents. It's all about wanting a nonprofit group to come in and help manage the land of Beaker Woods and make it for all the people of Munster. And that's what our is doing. And with that, we're also going to help maintain the walking path that is already there to make it easier for folks. So after that, we got it all dialed in. There's still some things that would be nice to tweak and kind of smooth out. And while we were talking about it and looking at like Earth Day, some things came up. There was people that objected, and that's okay to object. And so I had no problem meeting with people and talking to people about it. So I went out to the trail and met with folks from the Historical Society, Wild Ones, different nature groups, and we walked the trail, the whole thing, the 1/2-mile trail. And as we're walking, they're asking their questions. And by the end of it, there were no objections, and they see the win-win. One, invasive plants. We went in and cleared out a bunch of invasive plants through this trail system. And now they see with this trail, they can get in there and clear out invasive plants easier and invasive trees. So that they were loving. And as we're walking around more, we start talking about education. Not many people know the history and the geology of the ridge at Ridge Road. And so talking about it, it's like, we could have signage in here. We could work, I've actually talked to different scout leaders and even like the Girl Scouts for like Eagle Scout projects. We could work with people that know the history, know the nature and the geology, and we could have signage out there teaching the people of Munster about where they live and what makes it cool and what makes it unique. When we were walking, one of the ladies that was with me, if I had to guess age, I'm gonna say, you know, high 70s. She walked the entire trail over the obstacles, not a problem. And afterwards, they asked, could we do senior citizen hikes out here? And I was like, yes, you can do senior citizen hikes out here, because it is about everyone in Munster and getting them in nature and getting them off devices and having a good time. And so at the end of it, I don't know, the three folks that were out there that were pretty adamant against it, they saw it as a win-win for Munster, for the kids, for the nature lovers out there, and also for the health of the woods, to be able to get in there now and make it easier to maintain the woods and get the bad stuff out. And then finally, it's again, it's all about kids. And so I like to kind of tell people, you know, I bet when most of us, you know, remember how great it was to play in the woods as kids. I bet a lot of us here played in the woods when we were kids, and it was awesome. Why can't we have that for the kids now in Munster? We like to complain and talk about kids on devices, kids not going outside. Well, it's going to be hard to solve that problem if they don't have a place to go. And with that, we work, you know, and they talk, you know, people talk about potentially the negative side of it. We cleaned up over 10 bags, contractor bags of trash. You want to know where the alcohol was? The alcohol was all on the perimeter line of the Performing Arts Center. There was no alcohol in the center where the kids were hanging out. You know what the kids were doing? They were building forts. I don't see anything wrong with building forts in the woods. And so, again, we will work with the Parks Department. We will work with Munster Police. Now they have access to get in there, because before there was a trail, there was access, and people were already in it. So now we are designing this trail to have purposeful use. Purposeful use will diminish and decrease any kids or adults doing things they shouldn't do. Because when kids are back there, when moms and dads are back there walking, I can see a lot of the kids in the back. I know half of these kids' parents. They might not know me, but I know who they are. So if I see these kids getting into no good, I'm gonna get on the phone and I'm gonna text the parents and let them know what's up. And that's how it is. We got to be a community and work together. And yeah, if there's anyone that has questions, you know, I'm happy to go out there and we walk the trail and check it out, and then yeah, just make it better for everybody. So that is the Beaker Woods Trail that is ready to go.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
And at this time, it does lead us to our public input session. Mark will comment if there was any electronic at the end. If you would like, please approach the podium, state your name and address, and remember, comments are to 2 minutes in length. We never really run over that, but
Thanks.
thank you.
Sign in too.
Sure. My name is Michelle Lundinger. I've lived in Munster for 20 years now. I have 3 kids, 2 of which are playing varsity softball for the high school. And I'm here to talk about the condition of our field. I know that you all are working with the school board and that it's been a subject that's been addressed. I also wanted to thank you for the $24,000 capital improvement that we've made towards those fields. I'm also aware that the Little League fields were improved and are maintained generally better because of the work of volunteers. But I'm just here to remind you and encourage you and hope that you continue to come to the table. Munster High School is one of 3 schools in the surrounding 3 athletic complexes that does not have a dedicated high school field. Just now it rained. The boys will play because they have a dedicated field. The girls will not. We share with Munster Girls Softball, that's lovely, but there have been times where we can't practice and it's just sort of a blight on the idea of Munster that we don't have a dedicated field. So I know that we can do hard things. I understand that facility brings talent and that we can make our program even better if we continue to work on the condition of the fields. I just want to tell you that from a person, my daughter plays at a high level. We've traveled the country playing softball. The condition and the surface of those fields is among the worst I've seen in the country. It's dangerous for the players. It's not raked, it's not soft, it's harder to slide, it's harder to field ground balls. You know, she already has a busted tooth. It's gonna happen again, bad hops. So I wanted to thank you. I understand that you have made it a priority and I want to continue to encourage you to come to the table with the school board and find our girls a field. So they can play like the boys. Thank you.
Thank you.
I brought Megan Compton, she's.
Hi, my name is Christine Boardney, and I live at 28 White Oak Avenue in Munster. I appreciate the presentation. I thought it was excellent. I do understand that, and I wholeheartedly approve of having outdoor activities for kids. I think they need to be outside more, doing constructive things. So I think the trail it sounds like a great idea. Hopefully it's gonna work out. I have a friend though, who couldn't be here tonight because she isn't feeling well. So I told her I'd speak on her behalf. Dawn goes out to the woods regularly and photographs the great horned owls out there. And she's real concerned about them. And you know, I'm a nature lover. I want to see that we protect our environment, the nature, the animals, wildlife that are out there. And she's concerned and so am I. So my other concerns are, you know, the ecosystem, keeping it so the environment, you know, supports the wildlife as well as the people that are going out there. And also, you know, another concern I have here in Munster is spraying of mosquitoes. So that is another concern. If you're not, hopefully you're not going to be spraying in those woods because it affects the wildlife, especially the birds. I mean, we've just come out of that virus that was killing a lot of birds. And so hopefully we're behind us, but it's something that concerns me a lot. You know, I think we've lost a lot of eagles. I don't see them anymore. And so hopefully you won't be spraying in pesticides, things like that. That's another concern that I have. So.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have it.
Yeah.
Hello,
Good evening.
Simon. Hi, thank you. Hi, my name is John Holzhauser, 453 Magna Ave. Here's a follow-up to last month's meeting. And I would like to speak directly to the record. The facts are straight. 10140 Columbia Avenue was designated as a park area for Community Estates plat as early as 2005 before a single home was built in the neighborhood. The Munster Park Board reviewed and conditionally accepted this dedication in 2021 under PC 21016, the deed of which, along with a adjacent property to the north off Richard S. McClary Drive was conveyed to the board in November 2022. Together, the board has owned these two pieces of land totaling 2 acres for over 3.5 years. Trees and sidewalk have been provided, access to the site and installed in the last 6 months. The land is flat, accessible and ready. We would like Park and Community Estates. I reviewed tonight's park board meeting before coming in, and I acknowledge that I'm encouraged to see that HWC Engineers was added as a consultant, and initial draft concepts for Columbia Avenue and Jenna Drive have been reviewed. However, I need to address the second site being evaluated, 429 Jenna Drive. A neighbor of mine, Raj, is a professional engineer licensed and has put on record, speaking publicly, that that land is too close to train tracks, freight and commuter to be safe for a neighborhood park, regardless of what type of fencing is installed. At this board's October 2024 meeting, playground proposals were evaluated for Briar Creek and Cobblestones and dedicated to those lands. We have over 50 children in our community.
That is 2 minutes, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's John Cody. I'm at 7905 Monroe Avenue. And my concern are e-bikes that are terrorizing the parks and the neighborhoods. I go to the dog park twice a day, and they go through there at 30 miles an hour on those paths. And I like to give you a couple examples. Last 4th of July fireworks, I parked in Twin Creek. And I was going to the dog park and I'm on the path. This kid comes flying up behind me, scared the heck out of me. And I yelled, slow down. And slow down, he'll turn around and says, I'm only doing 15. That's extreme. That's reckless. I've seen a pack of them look like a golf course or clubhouse. There was at least 5 or 6. And they took off into the park. Another example. I was on Ridge Road heading west. And I just passed Wicker Park. And there was a bike on the south side of the street heading west. I'm doing 35 miles an hour. 35, 36. I couldn't keep up with him. He was staying ahead of me. He was all the way till it was just before Calumet Avenue. I don't know which way he went. But he beat me to Calumet Avenue. And if somebody was pulling out of their driveway, last thing they would expect is a bike going 35 miles an hour on the sidewalk. And I was wondering if anything going to be done about this. They should be tagged, something should be done to get the reckless off the street. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Beth Revogel, 1438 Somerset Drive, Munster. First of all, nothing happens in politics. No decisions. This was 3 months. No one in the town, knew about it. It just kind of happens. And then we're just supposed to suck it up, Buttercup. I'm sorry, I don't agree. Are these kids are going to come from bad areas, surrounding cities? Not saying Munster doesn't have some bad kids, but there will be problems. Just like when they integrated certain schools, there's problems, there's clashes. Who is going to take the financial responsibility Some older lady walking, some kid comes by on a bike and hits her. Who's liable? Who's paying for this? Who's policing it? Who's watching? Who's picking up the garbage? Of course there will be garbage. There will be litter. There will probably be things. Who's watching? Do they leave at dusk? Do they get to stay? Like when I lived on Beach Avenue, they're there way past hours. Cars from Illinois coming, playing basketball at all hours. No, I don't want to be infiltrated by problems. This is like asking, come on, look at the skate park. How often do you see kids at the skate park? The big, swoopy thing? You don't, not that much. Why can't they use over by Centennial Park? They have all that space there. The clubhouse is sitting vacant, can't use it. Do something with that. Or go to Hebron, use the park in Hebron. Go somewhere else, just like when kids were taking ice skating, they had to go to Orland or Oprah because we didn't have anywhere around here, because we don't have ice skating practice training here. You want it bad enough, you'll travel. I don't think it's wise for Munster as a town. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Beth Palmer, and I'm on board with the Historical Societies, lived in Munster since the 70s. And as good neighbors, I would have thought the Historical Society would have been notified. When did you start? They started planning this in December. I think last week you talked to 2 former members of the Historical Society. Nobody ever came to us and said what was going on or asked our opinion. The lady that bought the land from the town, Helen Beaker, was a nature person, nature loving person, but in the dunes and all of that. Apparently I heard she never even liked people riding bicycles on her land. Whether that's true or not, I'm not sure. But anyway, I just think the idea of getting kids out and doing mountain biking and learning it safely, I agree with, that's fine, but not in this location. You have a whole lot of land, as Beth mentioned, that's out by Centennial Park, that the building is, you can't use the building. You could expand, you could do all kinds of things out there where you wouldn't have that room in Beaker Woods with a half-mile track. And yes, I understand multi-use, but anytime you have walking along with bikes, it's not always going to come out well. So I just want to, I think things should be reevaluated and looked at and have a joint meeting of all the stakeholders that are involved in it. And we can't let the animals have a part, but they need someone to really, there's a very little natural forested land left in Munster. And it would be a shame to use that land when there's lots of other spaces of land that could. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have more seconds, here we go.
Oh, well.
Nick Fetchit, 10-420 Second Lake. Just to piggyback on the park, community estates. Again, we have over 50 children. Took an informal poll throughout the entire neighborhood this past month. And 30 people all agreed to move forward with the space that we had initially planned, with 0 that opposed on the poll we took. In favor of the Columbia Avenue site, I should say. We're Munster's newest neighborhood development with a high concentration of young families and no park or infrastructure whatsoever. I also need a place of, sorry. Very glad to see that HWC has been engaged. We're glad Community Estates is on tonight's agenda, as John mentioned, my neighbor. We hope to continue that momentum going forward in the right direction too. Our ask is very specific. Direct HWC engineering folks that's working in Columbia Ave site, the board already owns. Move forward with the public outreach meeting reference in tonight's board report. And provide this neighborhood with the timeline for when we can expect playground concepts to go within. We have waited 3.5 years. Childhood does not wait. We are ready to move forward from Florida still. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Steve Lombicki, 8316 Clark. Good evening, members. I truly appreciate the time and the effort that you put in maintaining our parks, keep Munster clean and lives. And here's people have an issue that may be small, but has an immediate and major students in our city. It's our high school golf teams. Golf is a sport that builds patience, integrity, accountability, and focus. It teaches lessons that extend far beyond the course. It's not just about competition, it's about personal growth, respect for others, empathy, and lifelong skills that they'll learn. For many students, it becomes a passion that they'll carry on well into adulthood. Golf, much like life, is just how to meet failures and overcome them. However, there is one barrier to this sport, unlike other ones, and that's the cost involved. For families right now, it's tough for them to balance their expenses. That knocks out a bunch of kids playing golf. In the city of Chicago right now, the city owns 6 golf courses. Last year, the Park District Board voted to make free golf for all kids from 13 to 18, all 6 courses. Closer at home, Innsbrook Country Club in Maryville gives free golf to the Andretti golf teams. Wicker Park gives free golf to the Highland golf teams year round. There's an indoor golf facility called Top Golf. They're the closest one in Indiana is in Indianapolis. Carmel's golf team practices there. They give free golf for Prairie Country Club. By the way, Carmel holds the record for golf state championships, 7. With that in mind, I respectfully ask each of the members of the board to approve of no-cost access to the course here in Munster for our high school team. This isn't just an investment in the team. It's an investment in our youth. When students have access to facilities like this, they're more likely to stay engaged and develop healthy habits. You're giving these students a chance to grow, compete, and succeed. You're not just opening up a golf course, you're opening doors.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hi,
Hello.
my name is Katie Stipe. I live at 8028 Van Buren Avenue here in Munster. My son and I would go to Beaver Woods since he was 4 years old, probably be 17 now. We walk, we bike, we both look at animals the whole time we went. I think it's a wonderful idea. For he's 17, still wants to be on his bicycle all the time. I would love a safe, nice place for him. We've traveled to the other places. It works out great with the people walking, with horses and everything, you know, right there, but he would have it in his own neighborhood that he's used to and that he loves. So we would all just be very happy. The whole area I'm in with other kids that ride the bikes too are very excited about it happening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Kelly Bierger. I own a lot in Community Estate at 444 Megan Way. Unfortunately, we purchased this lot 5 years ago, and it is really just not an acceptable place to build a dwelling at this point. So we've come to the conclusion that we would like to donate the property to the parks in order to build a park for these children and these families that are there and are enjoying their properties. I just wanted to bring it to the table. I don't know who I speak to do this for the community, but that's what we'd like to do. Thank you.
Mark would
Thank
be
you.
here first.
Cool.
How do I follow that?
Wow.
I don't follow how that goes. My name is Tim Owens. I live at 101 45 Andrew Lane, Community Estate. I did see the poll on Facebook and the choices were original park location, new location. Well, I want to clarify something. I take issue with what was said earlier. The original park in plot that was approved in 2005 is on the Quarry Drive. It's right next to lot 1. It's between the pond and lot 1, which is the brown brick house or kind of red and brown brick house. That's the park.
0.99 acres, and that's what it said back then. Nothing was ever done with it, except it's been sitting there ever since 2005 as park on every single plat. Aside from the South Shore line, everything along Allison Road, nothing really has changed on phase one. Phase one, I'm in lot 4 of phase one, which is right next to now the new phase two. I know this, and I know that there was no park designation property behind me. It actually says on the 2005 plot, which is green, where it's the park area by Macquarie Drive. It says just not included, that's all it says. That's phase two. In 2008, phase two was drafted, but not recorded. And that was to include 16 lots, not the 12 that have been approved in 2021. But the original designation or layout was a mistake. It actually overlays phase one. Lots 3 and 4, my lot, is a cul-de-sac in phase two. That was originally designed. So anyway, that, long story short, the mention of land designated as park, even being put to paper, was put to paper, I believe, by Mr. Taranga in June of 21. It wasn't even presented to the park board and then the planning commission until September, October of 21. So nothing was ever labeled park. And I was friends with, and friends with Dave Servin, who was the park board president back then. And I'm like, Dave, I've got this lot. I was ready to build May 21, but it's a long story. I went into that here when I was here. Dave just said, Tim is going to be green space, which is what I relied upon, and we'll look forward to my building a house. I'm worried about security, no lights, plan for anything behind this house, my house, and Columbia Avenue is right there. People drive up Columbia Avenue from Illinois a lot. Why, one reason I think you have for
Thank you.
paid parking in Centennial.
Excuse me, you took the side of sheet.
Oh, I grabbed everything. I just saw that.
So, my name is Dr. Adam, so I'm living near my team. So when I bought the land in 2018, was no one there, just me, because the community said they had lot 4 and 3 and Kildosa. So when I bought it, it was the park is what just near the lagoon and the lot number 1. So right now, the issue that I have, I don't have any issue with getting, because my home, the park is, I see my home. So right now, the issue, I love children, kids, and get parks, but the only issue that I have is that people that are crossing from my backyard and going to my backyard and going back, walking their pets. I have issues with this one. There is no privacy. I called police many times. I clean the dogs after them. So this is, for me, I cannot invest like around $1 million for something that have no value. So for me, for the there is West Lakes, the park is near the railroad and there is no issue. For me, there should be, if there is park there, it should be some mitigation plans. So it should be like 8-foot fence from the north to my neighborhood, because his master bedroom is like less than 20 feet from the drain. So everyone will look at his house. So then it would be very ugly if we can put fences there. So this is my point of view. I'm utility director for many years. I'm leading the Department of Water Stewardship. Thank you so much.
Did you put your address down too?
Yeah, I put it.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to approach Republican at this time? Mark, do we have any electronic?
There's one letter that was sent to us that I gave you each a copy of. Just wanted to mention for the record from Diane Kitchell, who's the co-chair of the Lake County Cooperative Invasive Species Management Area, or SISMA for short. But that was shared with you previously when we received it a day or two ago, but that's the only one we wanted to mention for the record. We did get several other emails, both pros and cons, supporting or against the Beaker Woods Trail that we've shared and passed around for your knowledge.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. All right, and thank you to everyone who spoke tonight. I appreciate that. No matter what your stance is, thank you for being involved. At this time, we'd like to move to our consent agenda. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to check it over in terms of our vouchers and last month's minutes. So we do need a motion to approve that.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, Janice?
Jose,
Yes.
Kara,
Yes.
Robin, yes. Scott,
Yes.
Kristen,
Yes.
Okay, up next is our monthly reports from March 1st.
I'm gonna go through and highlight some of this, and then we'll let Chris from the golf course come up and talk about, his portion of that board report. West Lakes Park, the washer building is underway. We have run into some unsuitable soils out there beneath where that building was going to be, so we're, also on your, those will eventually have to be taken out and replaced with structural fill and compaction. We've authorized the initial beginnings of that work to be done, but also on today's agenda, there's a testing, service from AES that is part of doing that work for us, that will be seeking your approval. The Bridges Over Ditches project, the long awaited, the bridges actually have been placed on April 8th and 9th, one over Hart Ditch, one over Katie Marsh Ditch. The project's expected to be completed, likely going to be maybe early June now. A ribbon cutting event will be planned. We're anticipating it might be June 15th. That would probably be the earliest, but that's what we're tentatively looking at as of right now. NIPSCO, that same corridor under the high tension wires, the NIPSCO trail, we are looking to repave that. We're waiting on a notice to proceed from NIPSCO to repave the Fisher Street Trail from Public Works to the bridges. The first section of that would be done west of Calumet, going down to Public Works, and also through Community Park and through the high school property to get us over to Columbia. The second phase would be everything east of Columbia. However, we're waiting to see if there's any damage from construction of the work that's happening both through the bridges project and the drainage work, clearing that they're doing through Steam Ditch. And potentially to see if any of those contractors will be required to have to do repairs or replacing of it. If not, it will fall to us. We're prepared to make that happen if that's the case. So the clubhouse electrical redistribution is on today's agenda. There's a change order for SEH for a professional services agreement. The second is an authorization to put that developed plan from SEH out for bid. If everything goes smoothly, there likely will be an item. I had a typo in my original report. It would likely be brought to you at your June meeting to award that electrical contractor to do that work. The Beaker Woods Trail we've covered tonight. The Cobblestones Park project is underway. Bernie Jones has started on that construction. Progress continues out there. There will be what might be perceived as a slowdown. Once concrete is poured, there's a 28-day curing period, so you really won't see any work out there, but there will be, obviously that's something that's necessary towards that project. The Heritage Park, we have a concept from HWC Engineering as far as the replacement for the gazebo. We have a concept to improve accessibility out there with the crushed stone pathway. We're going to be sharing that with the Historical Society here once we get a meeting scheduled to further discuss both of those concepts, as well as looking into and verifying with BP, who has a pipeline that runs through that park, to ensure that we're able to do this accessibility improvement out at that site, so you can get to the gazebo area of that site. We mentioned the community estate subdivision. I'll highlight HWC Engineering has shared an initial draft, a couple of concepts for each of the two different sites, the 10140 Columbia area, and then also near 429 Jenna. We've asked them to clarify and clean up a few things, and also share the footprint of the measurement of the playground area at each of those sites. Those are going to, actually, they did share us those measurements. We've shared that with playground vendors to get some initial proposals for those sites. So that hopefully we'll have those in a few weeks. And once we have all that material, we'll be scheduling a public outreach meeting with the subdivision to hear further input and look at the different considerations that you have before you as far as consideration. We'll also be, we're also waiting on a date for a meeting with the NICD to find out what potential is out there for both a playground site and also the idea of a connecting pathway from the south train station through to eventually connect with the trail that's currently along Superior near Franciscan Hospital. Centennial Park parking, daily registration in the office is continuing. We're more than 10,000 vehicles have been registered for that system, so lots of daily calls. Notices have gone out. Enforcement has begun as of April 1st, so we're getting, it's that season for us in the office. We're dealing with those on a regular daily basis. The landfill improvements, staff continues to work with different contractors out there about some repairs to the leachate pumping system. Concessions, we have the agreement with these eats that you have approved. That's been executed. They've been site prepping and been open now a couple days. So they're out there and doing great so far, and having many different products and even walking the site to other areas of parts of the park to potentially sell the different items from the concession stand. Cost savings and revenue enhancement discussions. The town manager and clerk treasurer's office have been having coordinated meetings across all the departments to look at coordinated cost savings and revenue enhancements that we might anticipate in advance of the SEA 1 that was going to be shared probably here by the end of the month. We're hoping as a town to hear what those details are, but we're working to identify areas before that even comes in where cost savings might be realized and where we have opportunities where revenue can be enhanced to help the town mitigate that impact of that action that was given by the state. On the recreation side of things, the summer brochure is out at the printer, should be in mailboxes soon. The recreation staff met with a number, with the high school volunteer coordinators, learned that students are allowed to do summer hours. So that's an exciting thing for us. That's when a lot of our events are. So we're going to be sharing, we've shared a Google spreadsheet with the staff, with the students for them to be able to sign up for things over the course of the summer. Spring soccer games began last weekend. We have 38 teams, 81 coaches, 483 players. So that's another typical kind of average season for us on the Munster Parks and Rec soccer program. That obviously is separate than the Munster Soccer Club and the Midwest Wings Soccer Club that are all collectively using our park system. Car show registrations coming in. There's 110 already registered. That's first Saturday in May over at the pool parking lot. Our grass parking will be limited due to ongoing construction over with the new tennis courts, but we are making preparations for that event, and we do expect to fully sell that event out as we have the last several years. Egg hunts, out of the 2 egg hunts, we have 211 kids, 14 volunteers, 5,000 stuffed eggs, and 30 raffle prizes donated by local businesses. The Holiday Arts and Crafts Fair met and accepted 11 more vendors, so that event is now full and sold out. We have a wait list for any future openings that we may run into if anyone cancels on as far as the vendor cancellations for us. On the park maintenance side, we've hired 2 seasonal employees. We're reviewing applications for additionals. 2 employees took the certified playground safety inspector exam. 1 will need to retest there. The mowing of all parks has begun for that season. The batting cages at Community Park were cleaned up, put the nets back up, cleaned out all 20 dugouts, dragged all the practice infields, turned the ball field irrigation systems on, cleaned and sanitized the 3 ice machines, and replaced the water filters as needed for those as well. Plumbing fixtures at the pool were reassembled for water to be turned back on for the season. We laid out the and striped soccer fields for our soccer program. The soccer club does that for themselves, and we restripe them. They actually added 2 soccer fields this year, so there's additional time that we're going to be spending weekly to restripe those fields as well. Delivered 3 loads of mulch to River's Edge Disc Golf Course, where we've had volunteers take them out and spread that out across the park as needed out there. Installed updated pay to park signs and by the pay meters at Centennial Park, and we placed the message boards advising visitors of the pay to park program and each of the parking lots at Centennial. Turned on the water at Centennial bathrooms, the cart barn, turned on drinking fountains system-wide, the irrigation system was also turned on. Placed a new memorial bench at the southwest corner of Memorial, at Maynard Lake out at Centennial. And with that, just in time, I'm gonna pass it off to Chris to come up and report on the Centennial Park Golf Course.
Good evening. So we had a bit of a wet start to April, but with this actually even the grass growing, the temperatures, it looks absolutely beautiful out there right now. For anyone who wants to come out and look at it, it's just one of those times of the year, grass brings up just the right time, so it's really good look. So with our grass reports, Dan, our superintendent, Cross and Foreman, just started this week. I'll have some more in-depth information about it next month for you guys. We have had a beaver taking up residence off of the lake on Boulder Creek. We're looking for a trapper for that. Just a little bit of a concern about if he takes too many trees down, clogging some of the outlets from the lake into the creek there. So that's, they finished cleaning up all the bunkers in the winter, so everything is flooded there. They are working currently on moving some solar sprinkler heads just off of the slopes to make the efficiency and effectiveness of our water system a little bit better. And we are gonna porta potties. We're scheduled to be delivered here in April. We have had worked with Orion. We've had a little bit of a new layout for a dining room, and they actually approved our new menu for the cafe today. I should have that pricing and everything over to Mark by the end of the week. One of the reasons we wanted to work on this is just to make it a little bit more welcoming, not just to golfers, but anyone who visits the park who's looking for a snack or restaurant or something to drink. We started April 14th. We were able to get the Craft Range open on April 14th as well too. We continued a strong start with another $9,000 for the memberships so far this month in April. And a big one, we hired a new PGA director of instruction, Rick Jansky. He attended TF South, Chauffeur in Lansing. He state qualified there. He was the team captain from Lewis University over in Romeoville. He has placed in the top 10 in 2 PGA sanctioned events in 2024. He brings a little bit of a modern approach to golf lessons using launch monitors and video screens. That's all we have.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mark, anything?
Nope, that's it, unless we have any questions there.
I do not. Anyone else?
Mark, I just wanted to mention to the groundskeeping crew at Centennial, they did a really good job with the area for the weddings that are those gardens that are up at the top. They did a very nice job cleaning that up. I know that was a concern for voice last summer. Went out there and I thought they did a really nice job. So I just wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Mark, will Beth Palmer be part of the Heritage Park communication?
I'll reach out to the president of the historical society and let them invite whoever they want to share with at that point.
Thank you. And then as far as like the updates from Chris, great to hear on like a strong start for the golf center league out there. Are there any plans for cross-channel communication via Facebook or other channels where we can promote some of the openings or just offerings that you mentioned, such as the good options and anything else that you mentioned?
I think we can do, I mean, on our social medias, as they share things and they get more active with that this year, that we can share that as well. That's probably the easiest way. We do include information within our summer brochure that we mail out that has information. So we do that each season. As any information that they have that way. So when those opportunities exist, we try to take advantage of them at low cost or no cost, even better. But you know, they do a lot of their own advertising of different activities and things like that. So they do a lot of that themselves.
Thank you. Anyone else?
In regards to community estates and park, because I was not part of the park board at that time, is it a park or a playground that was discussed with those people at community estates? Because they are two technically different things. I just wanted to ask that question.
Yeah,
because
I-
I'm Hearing two different terms.
Right, and there is a lot of confusion, I think, often on those terms. A lot of times people use them interchangeably, and you're right. I mean, the playground, obviously, you play equipment and so forth, swings, slides, things of that nature versus obviously the park is the land. And we can all picture various parks that we're familiar with in our own experiences and the amount of differing recreational amenities and activities that can be at a park of any sort. So the parkland, the subdivision ordinance required that the developer dedicate so much parkland. It ends up being applied for both phases. One phase did give us one parcel, the second phase gave us additional. And then at that point, it's up to the park board to decide and determine the best way on how to, or if developing that, or something in an alternative, whether it be in a different lot, some other properties that become available or whatever. So, those were things that we did identify in the master plan previously, that is an area that we would like to see. And I think collectively, I think the board wants to see that. It's just a matter of putting things together and bringing those options before you so we can consider the best solutions, because there are pros and cons of the various sites. And I think that that's something we want to be able to show you so you can make your best informed decision for the long term, because that very likely, whatever park site is decided, will be here many, many years after all of us are likely gone.
I had another follow-up on that, Mark. I know you mentioned the designs, or at least phase one design. At what point will we be able to see the designs for that? And then also I was thinking about the Heritage Park being built.
We'll share those once I get the final versions back. There were some typos and some other information that I wanted them to clean up on getting it back to us. And make sure to show that. So we'll circulate those soon. But I would hope within the next, but once we get some playground proposals, I would hope within the next month or two, we're getting together with some kind of community outreach meeting, which obviously would be very likely to be a park board study session that would hear input and, allow for more and further discussion in regards to all that.
And at that stage, there possibility for revision, like we're not too far.
Oh, no, yeah, I mean, I think it can be revised, changed, edited. I obviously will bring up the point that we have, we also asked HWC to put together a budget of each site for what they're showing in a pretty picture. It's great to see a pretty picture, but what's the dollar amount that may cost? And do we have dollars available? We have money available that was earmarked in a bond issue for this project. And it's just a matter of making sure that we can fit within that. If it's more than that, then it's the consideration of if we want to do that, do we make it a multi-phase type of approach? Or do we have to rein in what development is being developed there potentially to consider it at that point?
And is that for both things? So Devo will have a similar thing.
That would be for both, correct?
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? This brings us to my favorite part, Mr. Gardner.
Right, thank you. The last night, the town council approved a new committee, which is called Munster Wellbeing Improvement for Senior Experience Committee. Each of the two counselors will get each of the 5 counselors will be appointing 2 members, 2 residents to be on that committee, or residents or members that are affiliated with Munster. It's to identify new opportunities, including events, partnerships, and grant funding. It's our commitment to proactively address the needs of an aging population and foster stronger connections across all age groups. We are also working with the Civic Foundation, received a $90,000 grant for community outreach over the next 2 years. And you'll see a lot more information about Community Heart and Soul. That is our opportunity to get out and meet with people, talk with people, hear the stories about what people want to see in Munster over the next 2, 3, 5 years. You'll see the Heart and Soul group at different events throughout, I would say, the next 6 to 9 months, just trying to get stories and talking to people. And the overall arching goal then is to actively engage people, not just get information out, but actually engage in a conversation with people to find out what they want to see happen in the future of Munster. I think that's probably about it for right now. This weekend, at at Heritage Park is, Earth Day. That is the first group, that has received a donation or sponsorship or grant from the Munster Civic Foundation. So if you are looking for something to do, this Saturday at 9 o'clock is a cleanup at Beaker Woods. That's done through the Munster Sustainability Committee. And then at 11 o'clock, I believe 1 to 2 o'clock is actually the Earth Day. And there's probably about 15 to 20 different neighborhood groups that will be out there, ranging from Boy Scouts to SISMA and Sustainability Committee and everything else. So I welcome everybody to go out. And I do think there will be some more information about the Beaker Woods bike trail also out there at Beaker Woods at Heritage Park this Saturday. Sorry,
Thank you very much.
2 minutes longer than I know.
Thank you, Mr. Gardner. Next is item, excuse me, items for discussion and/or action. The first item is, unfortunately, sometimes we have to amend our schedule of fees for programs, and that is up first for approval. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to look at how fees have changed, and the number of free programs too that we have. So,
And that's just a resolution. Seasonally, we do this 3 times a year as a new brochure comes out. This is the summary of all the fees included within it. The State Board of Accounts requires that we set our fees based upon our expenses and so forth through the different programs. But bringing it to you for your consideration and recommending your approval.
anyone have any questions?
It's pretty upfront.
Yeah, I agree, very upfront. I think one of the things that stood out to me this time, and I don't know if I recall this being the case last time we approved this, but there was some free courses. It's really nice to see. So, and to Steve's point, but like sometimes we have to make money because especially with some of the changes with the SEA 1, we have to find a way to like make parks sustainable. But I wonder, Mark, if there's a way where we can commit perhaps a class or some program every season that we say, hey, this is going to be the free offering or an option where we can encourage more participation.
And the ones that are in there for free are typically a barter where we'll trade off advertisement within our brochure and then they offer those classes. So we do try to always have that. A lot of our special events that are out there are concert series and things like that. So there are things that are out there that are no charge that are available to people to get out and use. Obviously, the parks themselves are right there for people to go and use. But you're right. I mean, it's balancing this off and the staff. We have 3 recreation staff that deal with programs and activities. The fees that are coming in here are mainly paying collectively over the course of years, the revenue we're bringing in to offset their salaries, to have those people do programs and schedule those activities. So that's why a lot of these fees are coming from to help offset that. And besides, of course, we take into account the activities, costs, supplies, instructor fees, rental costs, whatever else that might come into play as over the course of a particular course.
With that being said, we do want to look for a motion to approve the amendment of our schedule.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Roll call too.
Jose,
Yes.
Kara,
Yes.
Robin, yes, Scott,
Yes.
Crystal.
Yes.
The next up is motion for out for bid and approval of the Centennial Park Electrical Redistribution Project.
Yes, so there's 2 different things in this, the memo that I've given you here that's part of this. So one is SCH continued to work on that electrical distribution project at Centennial Park. Due to that eventual demolition of the clubhouse building, the project's very complex. We have to remove all the electric that is fed throughout the park that comes from that building, and we have to reroute that and get that supplied in some other form or fashion. The amount of time that they put into this exceeded what they originally had proposed. So that's part of it. There also was a change of scope. They originally had thought we were going to reuse the fountains as this project got started. Our fountains out there failed and needed to be replaced. So we ended up purchasing that separately, and the installation of that and rerouting of all the cabling for that will be part of this. Is a new scope that was not anticipated when they originally gave us their original supplemental letter agreement. So we're seeking two things. One is a project amendment to their original supplemental letter agreement at a cost of $29,900. And I have a list of various items that are included within that as far as all those tasks. And the second is an authorization to put this project out for bid pending legal review, based upon the schedule that we put within this particular memo to you. So those are both motions. I think probably should have two separate motions. I'm thinking with Nicole on that, but, my recommendations are listed on that second page of that memo to you.
So the first motion would be, if we go in order, would be to approve the project amendment as presented at a cost of $29,900 and authorize the director to sign the document. So we are looking to approve that part first. So a motion to approve.
A motion to approve the amendments, that's $29,900.
I'll second that, Kristen.
Roll call, Janice?
Jose,
Yes.
Kara,
Yeah,
Robin, yes, Scott,
Yes.
Kristen.
Yes,
And then the second motion for approval is for SEH to put the project out for bid. Pending legal approval by our park board. Sure.
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second.
That Jose,
Yes. Roll call, Janice?
Jose,
Yes.
Kara,
yeah,
Robin, yes, Scott,
Yes.
Kristen.
yes.
Any other? I know you brought it in leadership, that's
Yeah.
that's to be expected. Next up is the fiber optic connection to Westlake Park.
Yeah, this is a proposal that the town's IT department secured from Midwest Electric to provide or install and connect an extension of the town's fiber optic network townwide there's a connection to the main along 45th Avenue. So that's where we would tie in to the fiber optic line that runs down 45th, and we would take it down Margot and then eventually into the park there. This allows us to we're gonna have surveillance cameras on that building. It also, since we have that, will also provide us our doorless, keyless, access systems that we have on a lot of our doors townwide. And also, any type of remote warnings and systems that we have like that. We have those are things that we found that definitely are advantageous for us and save us money. Thermostat controls, but also high water warnings, flooding considerations like that. So this is work that was anticipated. It would be paid from bond proceeds from the 2025 park bond. And we are recommending the approval of that proposal dated April 15th, 2026 at a cost of $48,300.
Any question?
I'll just comment, I did write Mark with questions. I had a bit of a sticker shock on fiber line to a bathroom facility.
I did.
But I think his explanation of, having the security cameras, monitoring if, we have a water leak or something to prevent future issues and also allow access to the storage rooms for those groups that can be there, but there's not a park staff member available. So thank you for answering that.
And I'll add that just fiber across the town, I mean, it's becoming the best, most consistent way. Anything wirelessly, cellularly, there's intermittent gaps. The fiber provides us a more consistent connection where we have access to that. So I think that it's definitely used. It's also the beginning of whether or not this line ever gets extended further down into Westlake subdivision for some reason. It allows that potential if we ever need to do that. It allows if for instance, if the police department ever wanted a license plate reader camera going down Margot, anything that they have them at most entrances and exits to the town, but there are other places where, and then they have them at certain intersections as well. It provides them with another tool in the toolbox for their perspective, if they ever needed to tap into a system when that fiber is already there. So it's a definite benefit long-term for the town.
I appreciate the surveillance piece. Definitely. So at this time, we are recommending the approval. for the West Lakes fiber optic line connection.
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Roll call, Janice?
Jose,
Yes.
Kara,
Yes.
Robin, yes, Scott,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes, I'm sorry.
And finally, not finally, but, next up is the Advanced Engineering Services, AES, for construction materials testing services for the West Lakes Park Restaurant Drive.
Yeah, and this is just a testing services agreement with a local company. This is the same company we used that did all the testing for us at the golf course buildings when those were under construction. They do a lot of work locally in the area, throughout the region. They're very responsive to perform the testing when it's needed to be done, so we don't slow down with different other work on the construction process. So this is again, something that would be paid for out of our bond project for that particular improvement. And we are bringing this to you, it's approving this agreement that's dated April 17, 2026, specifically for the West Lakes Park Restaurant Building Project.
Anybody have any concerns? All right, so we are looking to approve the agreement from AES with the West Lakes Park restroom project.
Yeah, a motion to approve the agreement from AES.
I'll second.
Roll call, Janice?
Jose,
Yes.
Kara,
Yes.
Robin, yes, Scott,
Yes.
Kristen.
Yes.
And then finally, we do have a request from Group 533 in regards to camping out overnight after the Lions Club Steak Fry event with State Wild.
Yes, and really what they're seeking for is permission to be in the park after hours, right? I mean, that's ultimately, they can be in the park, it's just, and whether or not they sleep or not, that'll be
Nobody
up to them,
usually
right?
asks for
So,
They just do it.
but it's the date of August 15th, starting at 10 a.m. until the following morning to camp overnight at Community Park. Earlier, as I mentioned, they'll be helping with the state fry earlier in that day. And they are willing to abide by all park rules. I did mention, we prohibit open flames, so they're okay with, following and abiding by all the rules that we have otherwise in place. And so we're recommending waiving any fees and approving the use of Community Park by Scouting America Troop 533 from noon on Saturday, August 15th through 10 a.m. on Sunday, August 16th, for the camping overnight. Just pending the receipt of a certificate of insurance naming the town as additional insured. So that would almost be the motion, if you will.
Okay. So, just really, we're looking to approve their certificate of insurance then? Is that where it comes in the end?
You want to summarize, Nicole, what the right?
Because we can't stay in the park after dark, so
Right.
it's the approval for them to be in the park specifically from August 15th. Overnight to August 16th, on condition that they add the Terra Munster, the official insured, and provide an insurance policy accordingly.
No question, I just think that this is a perfect example of what we were talking about just earlier, just like where we can have that flexibility to waive fees and like support something locally like this is perfect. Exactly what we want to do.
And if you're from 533, thank you for all your help. Appreciate it.
The Lions, thank you too.
Okay, so this time we are motioning to approve.
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second.
Condition?
With those conditions.
With those
With those
conditions, sorry.
conditions, all right?
Yep, great. Thank you.
There were previously.
Yes.
Second.
Roll call, Janice?
Jose,
Yes.
Kara,
Yeah.
Robin, yes. Scott,
Yes.
Kristen.
Yes.
Before we adjourn, just real quick, want to remind everybody, May 5th is the primary to vote. And our next meeting is Tuesday, May 19th at 5 p.m. So at this time, we'll adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Like me, Mary.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Good. Fun stuff, eh?